Welcome into the Devil's Digest postgame show following Arizona State's 85-57 loss against number 9 Texas Tech here at Desert Financial Arena. ASU finishes the season 13-18 overall and 4-16 in Big 12 play. As always, I'm Justin Lestertosa. That's publisher Hoder Bino. And Hode, tonight, different day, same story. ASU undermanned, down a couple starters, and in that first half, it looked like they were hanging in with Texas Tech, but second half collapsed, and ASU just couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Justin. There's been a lot of wash, rinse, repeat effect with this team, and not in the good sense. And another game where they're missing two starters. Jaden Quaidens with the knee injury. Bobby Hurley didn't say that he's done for the year, but he said also he's not going to play next week in the Big 12 tournament. So you can definitely read between the lines that he's done for the year. That's something that I told my subscribers weeks ago. Unfortunately, it is a serious knee injury. When it comes to Adam Miller missing time, I think that really hurt ASU quite a bit because Texas Tech did not play a great first half, but I really think that the Sun Devils, were able to somewhat hang with the Red Raiders, and you wonder if he had the services of Adam Miller, how different this game would look like. But basically, not only the undermanned, but you have players like Amir Ali and Sean Phillips who actually played very well in the last couple of games, combined for 5 total points. That's just not going to cut it, especially when you play a number 9 team in the nation.
Yeah, 9th consecutive home loss for Arizona State. Bobby Hurley said it's haunting to hear the other team celebrating in their own locker room. Haven't won a game since January 4th. Tonight specifically, what did you see that went wrong for the Sun Devils?
Yeah, first of all, you talk about haunting. Somebody sent me a stat that really blew me away. For the first time ever in ASU history, the ASU football team won more games in Tempe, 6, than ASU basketball did, 5. So that is an absolutely eye-popping stat for all the wrong reasons. It's been quite the struggle for the Sun Devils at home. I think that you talk about not getting the most you can from your players, and not only points-wise, but also effort-wise. Obviously, when you have an ASU team that was running a small lineup for big stretches, they need to do better than just have Texas Tech turn over the ball 2 times, 0 times in the second half. That is not even going to come close to being a recipe for an upset or even losing in a respectable manner. ASU has 0 second chance points. Again, that all comes back down to effort. Ironically, ASU and Texas Tech were tied 30-30 in points in the paint. So I don't know if I would call the lone bright light, but that was a curious stat nonetheless. ASU, like I said, didn't play a horrible first half. But when Texas Tech made a 3-pointer to beat the buzzer as the teams went down to the locker room, that was definitely an ominous sign of what's going to happen in the second half. ASU really struggled from the get-go. They shot in the second half only 28.6%. Texas Tech shooting 51.7%. Was able to get to the free throw line in the second half 18 times. Those are just all aspects that ASU, even against teams much worse than Texas Tech, cannot win a game like that. And definitely today playing one of the best teams in the Big 12. I think when you look at all the teams that played here, Justin, I think them in Houston have definitely differentiated them from the rest of the Big 12. So in my eyes, it's no surprise that Houston's number 1, Texas Tech is number 2 going into the Big 12 tournament. There were some bright spots, I think, for ASU. Bashir Jihad, in his last ever home game, scored 22 points. Austin Mason, another senior, playing his last game in Tempe, had 14 points and 4 assists. Jashawn Sanan is playing better as of late, scored 16 points. But again, when you don't get that production from Amir Ali and Sean Phillips to complement those players, it really is a losing battle. This game could have been even a little uglier than it was in an 18-point loss. But really just the story of the season. ASU undermanned time and time again, playing teams that even if they were in full strength would probably lose the game. And when you're missing 2 starters almost on the regular, you're just not going to come up victorious in contests like this.
Well, now Arizona State shifts its focus to the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, which starts on Tuesday. ASU will be seated at number 15 in the conference. What do you expect out of ASU, and what do you think they need to do to potentially be one of the underdogs in this tournament?
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't think anybody really is expecting here ASU to win the Big 12 tournament, especially if the injuries are going to persist. We know Jane Quinton is not going to play next week. Adam Miller looks like has at least a 50% chance of playing, so that could help. It all depends really on the first round matchup. Can ASU just win that first game and maybe somehow gain some confidence, some momentum? So if BYU beats Utah, which I think is likely a result, ASU is going to play Kansas State. I think that's a matchup that the Sun Devils would love to take in the first round. If Utah is the one pulling the upset, then they play TCU. I think a winnable game, or probably a less winnable game than Kansas State would be. But again, you just really wonder about the psyche of this team. I don't think they played a horrible game against Arizona by any means. But then you come back at home, play as bad as are against Texas Tech, and you just wonder, like, okay, what's going to be the mindset? What's going to be the psyche going into the Big 12 tournament? Basically knowing that your season is going to end next week. Now it's just a matter if it's going to end in the first round or the second round. So, we'll see if that fight that we've seen from ASU so many times does come back and reappear in the Big 12 tournament. But again, I really think it has to do with the matchup. It also has to do with whether we are or not going to see Adam Miller in the lineup, because that's going to make a whole lot of difference. We said it a million times, Justin. This team does not have any margin for error. And if you take Adam Miller along with Jaden Quaidens out of the lineup, it's almost mission impossible to beat any quality team in the Big 12.
Well, thank you for your insight all season long. Arizona State now shifts its focus to the Big 12 tournament next week. So to stay tuned on all the coverage, go to DevilsDigest.com. Follow Devils Digest on Twitter at Devils Digest. As always, I'm Justin Lestertosa. That's publisher Hoder Bino. We'll talk to you guys soon.